Hello, I'm attorney Paul Whalen from Afford Law. At Afford Law, we practice criminal and family law throughout Massachusetts. All of our fees are based on a sliding scale based on your income. So the less you make, the less you pay. Today, I wanted to be talking about driving on a suspended license charge in Massachusetts. Driving on a suspended license charge is a criminal charge. Therefore, it's a very serious matter. However, typically in the district courts, the driving on a suspended license charge is considered a much lesser a priority, if you will, in the court system. It's not dealt with very harshly. It's considered kind of low hanging fruit, if you will. Now, having said that, having any criminal charge is against you is a major thing in your life, and you want to make sure that you take care of it properly. Um, with a driving on a suspended license charge, generally the courts have an attitude of, sometimes people just forget to renew their license, or for some reason, maybe they didn't pay a ticket and the license was suspended, and perhaps they weren't completely aware of that, and they were out driving. So if you have a first offense, driving on a suspended license charge, typically the Commonwealth will agree to dismiss your charge on some court costs, typically $100 in court costs. The way you get into trouble with these cases is that if you have many of those charges, so if you have a record of driving on a suspended license charges in your past, eventually that's going to catch up with you. So they start out by dismissing charges on $100, for example, court costs. Maybe next time would be another dismissal, but bump it up, the court cost a little bit more, to make it a little bit harder on you, to try to teach you a lesson, basically. But if you keep going, as hard as it is to imagine, people actually go to jail for driving on a suspended license charge if they have enough of them. What it looks like to the court is you're thumbing your nose at the court. You don't care if you're licensed or not. You figure you're going to just waltz in and waltz out of court, pay a court cost, and be on your way. At some point, that catches up with you. So at some point, they're not looking to dismiss the charges. They'll look to put you in a quaff, a continuation without a finding, for instance. Perhaps that's the next level, where you're on probation for a period of time. Or eventually you'll be getting guilties with probation, and so forth. And eventually you could be sent to jail, as hard as it is to imagine, on a driving on a suspended license charge. So you certainly want to take it seriously. You want to be validly licensed in order to operate a motor vehicle in Massachusetts. Another thing to be very careful of is there are certain circumstances under which there are much more severe penalties. For instance, if you're driving on a suspended license and your license was suspended for an OUI, or an alcohol related offense, you would be facing a 10-day minimum, mandatory minimum jail term as a result of that. So that means that if you're driving on, if you have an OUI charge and your license is suspended for a period of time as a result of that case, and you go out driving on that license and you get stopped and picked up, you're facing 10 days in jail, minimum mandatory. That means they cannot do anything less than that. You're locked in. An attorney can't get you anything less. It could be more, but you would be doing that time at the very least. And much worse, one step up from that is if you are driving on a suspended license. I'm sorry, if you're driving on a suspended license, which was suspended for an OUI, and you are drunk while you're driving. So that is an OUI while driving on a suspended license charge for OUI. You're facing a 1 year minimum mandatory sentence. Again, minimum mandatory means a judge cannot give you anything less than the 1 year. There are additional fines and fees and license loss that comes along with that as well. But obviously, the most impactful thing to your life is going to be that you will be serving a 1 year jail term as a result of that charge. So keep that in mind. Licenses are, again, if it's a first time offense, generally not a very big deal, but there are certain circumstances where it becomes incredibly important that you want to make sure that you're licensed. And if you get picked up on anything like that, you want to make sure to get an attorney, an experienced criminal defense attorney, so that he or she can look at your case to see if there's any way that you can get out of get out of those charges. So, as I say, at Afford Law, we practice criminal and family law throughout Massachusetts. Please visit us at affordlaw.org I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. We do everything on a sliding scale based on your income, so the less you make, the less you have to pay. We're trying to give voice in the courtroom to the hardworking men and women of Massachusetts. While you're at our website, affordlaw.org, please feel free to book a free virtual appointment with me. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about any criminal or family law situations you may be facing. At Afford Law, we're making justice affordable. Thank you.